Hello and welcome back to another installment of Retro Gaming Rewind. Today we're going to be playing a game called Adventures of Bayou Billy for the NES. Now this game is actually the first one I've ever played for this channel that I didn't own or play as a kid. And I will tell you right now, this is also a very unique video in the fact that I have never ever beaten this game. I've never even beaten the first level, so I'm going to do something very unusual. And that is I'm going to play the practice mode. Now, I should mention that I am recording these using an emulator. Clearly, I have the cartridge. I am only mentioning this today because there is a mode in this game that requires the light gun. And as I no longer own a CRT TV, there is no way for me to show this to you any other way. So we're going to use practice mode, and we're going to go through three different types of gameplay, as you're going to see. So in practice mode here, you've got car racing practice mode. And did my controller disconnect? There we go. Practice mode. And there's three different modes in practice mode. There's shoot 'em up game A and B, street fighting game, action driving game, and shoot 'em up game. Adventures of Bayou Billy is kind of unique in the fact that they took a lot of the fun and popular game titles at the time and kind of mashed it into this one game, which is just kind of funky, Double Dragon-esque, like street fighting element. You've got something kind of like Rad Racer with action driving game, except there's weapons. And then you've got a shoot 'em up game, which is kind of like Hogan's Alley or Duck Hunt. More Hogan's Alley than Duck Hunt. So we're going to start off with the street fighting game. I honestly don't know how many levels are in this game because I've never even beaten the first level without dying. And if you lose all of your lives, you have to start all the way back at the beginning. But it has a very Double Dragon-esque like gameplay style to it, although it is way more unforgiving. And you don't level up like abilities and stuff, or at least not that I've noticed throughout the game. You do accumulate bullets, so I think in the main game, as you accumulate bullets, you have more bullets to use in the other levels, which would make them easier. But yeah, the action fighting game play style is very crazy. As you can see, even throwing knives and things like that, very Double Dragon-esque like. I have not yet played Double Dragon yet for this channel, but that will be in future installments. Oh yeah. If you got a knife to the face, I think that would stop you pretty dead in your tracks. So, much like many of the games at the time, Adventures of Bayou Billy is about a person who clearly knows martial arts, and he is out to rescue his girlfriend. I don't know why martial artists have girlfriends that are constantly taken by thugs. It's just a thing in the late 80s and early 90s, apparently. Got some groovy soundtrack music going on. And yeah, I died already. And I usually make it a little bit further in the fighting version of this game, but yeah, just want to give you guys a taste of what this game is like so you can play it for yourself. I don't know if the Konami code works on this game. I've never tried that. I'm not going to try it today. But yeah, this is a Konami game. So here we've got our little car, and I can push forward, and I can throw grenades and shoot. Oh, and I'm dead already. Oh, I'm going to play that again because that was way too quick. But much like many of the games that we play here, we don't like to play again and again. Just want to give you guys a taste so you can play it for yourself. Like I said, notoriously difficult game. Adventures of Bayou Billy. One more time. Starting to get used to the controls. Oh yeah. Just imagine if modern day racing games were like this. It'd be crazy. It's tough. It is tough. and I'm dying a lot. This is probably going to be the shortest game ever. So like I mentioned, I don't have a CRTV. I'm recording these using an emulator, so I apologize. You are going to see a mouse cursor moving around the screen on this gameplay. So if you don't know much about the light gun was a pretty cool accessory for the NES. It required you to use a CRTV, which was totally fine at the time, but modern day gamers typically don't have access to a CRT, so the only way you're able to play some of these classic games, use a light gun, would be through an emulator. So what you're seeing on the screen here is these flashes of white. That's actually how the light gun worked. It would actually put in a single frame of black, followed by a frame with all the white squares where any hitbox was, where if you clicked on that area, I'm talking to you, I'm not focusing on the game here. That's my excuse for sucking. But we'll play that one more time. The light gun used a little optical sensor in the gun, and if it detected a white square or a bright light after a single frame of black, it detected a hit. So that's what you're seeing on the screen here in these super quick flashes, and it made it feel like you're actually shooting the bad guys on the screen. And believe it or not, it's a lot easier in my memory to use a light gun than move the mouse around on a screen like this. But it was a lot of fun. Duck Hunt is by far the most, I'd say, famous game that uses the light gun because so many people got Super Mario and Duck Hunt with their NES. Fun little game. We can play the other one as well, the version B of the shoot 'em up. See how that goes. There's game A and game B. Oh yeah, so game B, I forgot. So game, I do remember this. So game A, I'm using the controller now. Game A was using the light gun, because this was one of the few light gun enabled games that the light gun was optional. So here I'm actually using the controller to move my cursor around the screen. And it's a lot easier to waste bullets on this mode than their other mode. So I'm down to 54 bullets already, but I'm doing better. I think it's a little bit excuse me. I think it's a little bit easier to move the cursor around on a modern day display. Ooh, got a life back. So this really brought the style of an arcade. So the arcades had the ability to use light guns and things like that as well. But the light gun for the NES, to my knowledge, is the first time that you could have that arcade style experience in your home. And the original NES actually came with the light gun and Rob the Robot, which is the reason why it was called the entertainment system, not just a video game console, because that was shortly after the crash of the video game industry. Extremely, extremely difficult game. We just played through the practice mode and we died again and again and again. And you can see here's in a little playthrough. You can get whips and stuff. I mean, it's a cool game at some point, but it is very difficult. So if you want to spend time playing Adventures of Bayou Billy for the people out there that love difficult games, this is definitely one to try out. So anyway, so if you guys have any recommendations for games that you'd like to see us play here on the channel, let us know in the comments below.